Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IAS. In today's class, we'll be continuing with part 2 of vernacular language or vernacular education. Now, these are the ones who preferred, these are the Britishers who preferred or who thought that vernacular language was better suited for Indian needs. Okay, here Dalhousie, he says he favors vernacular education. Okay, now these are the Britishers who are for the Oriental or for the vernacular education. Okay, next in your 1854 Wood's dispatch come in where he also strongly suggests introduction of vernacular languages in the primary schools. Okay, next is your Hunter Commission in 1882 where he also thinks that there should be some improvement in vernacular education. Okay, now we have seen the scenarios where the Britishers or the colonizers, okay, now they think or they are for the Oriental learning or for the vernacular learning. Let's see what was the condition against it. Who were those people who were against vernacular languages? Okay, that is your Anglists, anyone who favored English as a medium of instruction and Western sciences and literature to be taught in India. To create that section of people who will be favorable to the British rule in India is what they preferred or called your British in taste, Indian by blood. Okay, now let's look at their perspective. The Anglists, led by Charles Strelin, Effistone, advocated the imparting of Western education through the medium of English. As the name states, they felt that the English education was key to the treasures of scientific and democratic thought of the modern West. Okay. Now, this constant debate between Anglists and Orientalists had to be settled. For that, they set up a committee. That committee being under Lord Macaulay. Okay, he was the law member of Supreme Council of Calcutta. Now, he was appointed as the chairman of Committee of Public Instruction. Now, in that committee, it was decided the medium of instruction will be English. Okay, thus in favor of Anglists. Okay, the limited government resources were to be devoted to the teaching of Western sciences and literature through the medium of English language alone. Not supplementing vernacular language, but English language alone. This is the key word. In 1833 Charter Act, 1 lakh rupees was earmarked for education and that money was to be used in creating their breakwaters. They did not concern about giving the education or mass education, but rather creating a breakwater for them to run their administration smoothly in the Indian subcontinent. This is the colonizer mentality, the colonizer education. Okay. Now here the concept of colonizer education or education itself or Western education itself is not bad. Had they supplemented it with the vernacular language, had they supplemented it with Indian subjects, had they supplemented it with subjects that are suiting Indian needs, then it would have been a proper form of education that is suiting both Indian as well as British needs. But here, the clear concept of colonizer mindset is visible. Okay, next. The government soon made English as the medium of instruction in its schools and colleges and opened a few English schools instead of a large number of elementary schools, thus neglecting the mass education, which was the need of the hour in the Indian society at that point of time. Okay, next. Now we saw that Wood's dispatch of 1854 comes in, but this reorganizes the whole system of education. Okay, so Wood's dispatch is called as Magna Carta of English education in India. Okay, according to this, he favors vernacular education in primary schools, as we have seen before. Now we have seen this is British who are speaking whether vernacular, that is Oriental or Anglist, whether it is vernacular or English should be the medium of instruction. Now arose during the period of 1885 onwards, or more specifically towards the 1905 onwards, the concept of Swadeshi comes in. That Swadeshi is like a huge, consider Swadeshi like a huge blanket. Under it comes different sectors, for example, education, industry, all this are wrapped by a blanket called Swadeshi. Okay. Now, what according to Swadeshists, or Swadeshi, okay, education means to them. Okay, under them, a Bengal National College inspired by Tagore's Shanti Niketan. Okay, soon national schools and colleges sprang up in various parts of country. Here, the Swadeshi period of vernacular language, when we speak about, here the Indians are running the mode of education, the medium of education in a vernacular language, and the courses, subjects which are taught are suitable for the Indian needs, are suitable for the Indian subcontinent. Here, in Swadeshi period, education attained a nationalistic color. That is, education at this point of time attained a very nationalistic color. When we say that, it means education was now considered an integral part of Indian subcontinent, which should be suitable to the Indian needs and Indian diaspora. Understanding? Look at the word we are using, Indian diaspora. From now onwards, Indian education was to spring open in other places. Okay, considering India's special and unique cultural, economic, and social ties. Okay, next. On August 15, 1906, the National Council of Education was set up to organize a system of education under national control, impart education through vernacular medium. Okay, this was under your Swadeshi movement. Okay, let's come to the current scenario, your contemporary world, that is the 2022, your 21st century. Okay, now what is your government's take or people's take on your education policy? Should they continue? Are they thinking that vernacular languages is the need of the hour, or do they think it is too outdated? Right now, it's a very globalized world, it's a very digitalized world. Now, going back to vernacular languages might not be, more efficient. Now they think English is a language that is connecting the globe. Okay, now if you have to earn an employment, English is a priority, English is a must. Under this scenario, what is government's take, or what is our take as a people of Indian subcontinent? What is our take on education? Should it be vernacular or should it be in English? Let's look at that. Now we know that a new education policy was launched. According to that, teaching up to at least grade 5 or at least 5th standard, it should be in mother tongue or regional language. No language will be imposed on any student. This is the output of our new education policy. Okay, that is, see, now for example, yes, we know that English is the need of the hour. Yes, English is now used to communicate in a globalized system. More and more transnational actors are coming into picture. That means English is extremely important. That doesn't mean only English is important. Yes, English is important. Yes, English is very important. But equally important is your vernacular language. Why? That is how we maintain. India is known for its social fabric. India is known for its uniqueness in culture, uniqueness in its social ties, uniqueness in its economic ties. Under all this, India is a honeypot. Okay, under this, India has to make sure, we have to make sure that we use both vernacular as well as English. Now, there was a UPSC question. Okay, there was a UPSC question in 2021 for 250 words or a 15-mark question. It states that how does Indian society maintain continuity in traditional social values? Enumerate the changes taking place in it. Yes. Now, I would say involving or including your vernacular languages in our curriculum is one of the way how India maintains its traditional social values. See, now with, if you take the negatives of this, or if you take this question in a slightly different form, look at this question. India is maintaining continuity in traditional social values, right? It is maintaining a continuity. Rather, what is the reason if this scenario has to change? If India is losing its continuity in traditional social values, what would be the reasons? Fragmented families, yes. We are becoming more and more nuclear, yes. Under that scenario, our value, our language, okay, our traditions are somewhere losing that connect, right? Under that condition, okay, under that condition, When we introduce vernacular language, there is a continuity in the mother tongue. There is a continuity in going to the roots. There is a continuity in where we belong. Where are we from? Where are we supposed to go? We are always concerned about where we are supposed to be in 5 years, where we are supposed to be in 10 years. But where did we come from? That also makes an important thing. That also marks the importance of history in Indian diaspora, in Indian social life, in Indian economic life, in Indian cultural life. History is a past that should connect to the future. Past is not a burnt bridge, it is a continuous bridge. Okay. Now, in your Independence Day speech, PM Narendra Modi uses this: shed colonial traces, take pride in roots. Now, when we say take pride in roots, okay, we do not mean that completely shed English, completely give up on English, digitization or globalization or whatever it is that they are calling. No one is asking you to give up those. Additionally, added to the sustenance. Now, no one here just means no modernity, it just means an inclusive growth. If India has to maintain Indian society, according to UPSC question, if Indian society has to maintain its continuity or is able to maintain its continuity in traditional social values, one of the points would be your vernacular language. The stress, the importance on mother tongue. Okay, so thus marks India. India will proceed. India had a unique history. India has a unique history. When these are taken into considerations, India will have a unique history. Okay, now this has to be an eye opener for us in our mains answer as well as in our life. Okay, just we've come to the end of the topic. Thank you very much.